Hey Burnout Crew, welcome to the 1-year anniversary episode of the Burnout Block. Today, May 12th, 2022 marks 1 year of the Burnout Block, so this is going to be a special episode just going over all the stuff we've gotten done so far, all the things we've accomplished on the channel so far, just kind of looking back on all the things we've done in this past 1 year of the Burnout Block. We're also going to talk about some plans that we have coming up, some new parts that we're going to be getting installed soon on the G6, as well as our plans for this coming summer season, all the events we're going to be going to, places that you guys can come meet us, news, stuff like that. So let's get into it. Two things before we dive in. One, you might notice that we're at a new location. We did move again. We are at a temporary apartment. Once we sold our old house, we were there for 2 months, and now we are at a rental house. We're going to be here for a little bit, probably about a year, maybe a little bit more, until the housing market comes down a bit so we can go find another house. The second thing, we've got t-shirt and tank designs made. I'll be posting those on the Burnout Block Instagram. That's at the Burnout Block. Again, that's tanks and t-shirts. I don't know pricing yet. It'll depend on how many we order. They look really cool though, so I'll be posting those soon. They look really sweet. I'm really glad how they turned out, and I'm excited to be wearing those during the summer season. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this past year. A year ago today, our first couple videos were introducing you guys to the channel, introducing you to myself, as well as introducing the G6 to the channel, talking about some of the plans, talking about, you know, my goals for the channel, what I want the channel to be like. And honestly, over the past year, I'm very happy with the way things have grown. I'm very happy with the amount of people we've already reached. Even though currently, as in making this video, we only have 78 subscribers, we've reached a lot of people over the time that we've had this channel in just 1 year. After our first 2 videos, we had our K&N intake install video, our first ever part install on the channel, which is actually our most popular video on the channel as of recording. I think it has almost 3,000 views. Which is pretty good for a small channel like us, so I'm very proud of that. The video that followed our K&N video was the reveal of the Eclipse. Now, the Eclipse brought some new life to the channel. It was nice having 2 cars for a little bit on the channel, so you had a little bit of 2 different platforms that you could see. It was unfortunate that the Eclipse ended up blowing up. However, that was a nice kind of introduction to another platform. I'm really hoping that sometime in the future, we get a new platform that we can also work on the channel, just because it brings in more people into the community. And as I said in our first video, I really want this to feel like a family, which is why our motto, "Welcome to the Family," is on our t-shirts and stuff like that, and on our logos. I really like that philosophy of making the channel feel like one big family. No matter what race, gender, or what even car you drive, I want this to feel like one big family. One side note I forgot to mention in the open of the video that I wanted to let you guys know. For those who don't follow the Instagram, we finally got the new wheels on. This is what the car looks like. It's obviously in the garage right now. It's a little bit dusty, but the wheels are looking really good. I like the way they turned out. The tires fit very well. You can see on the front here, the fitment's really good. It has a little bit of poke, and I like that. I like the 255 tires on there. It's pretty meaty. You can see, looking at the fender, it has a decent amount of poke, but it feels really sturdy. It handles very well. I love the way these wheels look. Continuing on after the reveal of the Eclipse was our day 1 and day 2 coverage of Formula Drift Erie in Erie, Pennsylvania. That was a very cool event. If you guys have seen that video, you know that we got to meet Adam LZ, we got to meet Colette Davis, and a bunch of other cool drifters through Formula Drift. It was nice to go to the pits and see the cars and see the crews working. That was a really cool experience. There was a lot of cool cars there, a lot of unique builds, a lot of awesome drivers, just really nice people overall. I really like that environment. After we got back from Formula Drift, we had our first ever Test and Tune Day video here on the channel, which was actually a really fun event because it was a crossover with my Uncle Sam, aka Sam Hager. If you guys don't know him, I'll link his YouTube channel down below. If you haven't seen the video, he has a 2013 Audi S5 that he has pretty well modified. If you watched a couple of the videos and the following months after that, he ended up hydrolocking the motor. He is getting it fixed, so that's the good news that I'm bringing in this video. It's at the shop right now, it's getting fixed, and hopefully it'll be back up and running again soon. For right now, he has a 2021 or 2022 Corolla hatchback that he's driving as his daily. It is stick shift, it's a fun car to drive, I've driven it a few times, but his Audi is really fun to drive and it's very fast, so hopefully he gets it back up and running soon. soon, and maybe this season we can take it back to Kilkenner again so he can lower his time. I think his best was a 13.3, which is really good. The only problem was those cars heat soak really badly, so without having that heat exchanger like he's trying to get on right now, it would just overheat, and once it was hot you couldn't really cool it down that well. But still, a 13.3 is really cool for that car. Following that, we had a really cool cosmetic mod that we did on the G6, and that was our black headlight install, as well as the LED bulbs and the red LED fog lights as well, all in one video. That brought a new look to the vehicle. I think that without doing those headlights, the car would not look as cool as it is right now, especially with one of the new parts that we got that's on its way that I'll tell you later on in the video. The car is going to look really cool. After our headlight install, we did a first ever top 10 video here on the channel. That was top 10 sports cars under $10,000. That was a really fun video to make, even though it was a voiceover video. That was really fun to do all that research and find all these cool cars that you could have for under 10 grand. It definitely gave me some ideas of maybe another daily or another project car to get soon. So having that knowledge and being able to give you guys that knowledge myself was a very fulfilling and very fun thing to do. So I'll definitely be doing more lists soon. After that top 10 video, we took a 2-month hiatus. The reason we took such a long time, which even though we made a video about it, it took really long time because we were moving out of the old house, settling into the apartment. I started college, you know, it was just a lot of stuff all happening at once. So we had to take a 2-month break. I just didn't have enough time to make videos. But after that, we did our sway bar end link video, which helped stiffen up the rest of the suspension, so now the car handles very well, which leads us into our recent videos of getting the wheels, and then Indianapolis Cars and Coffee, which is a fun first event to go to. I'd never been to a Cars and Coffee before, and even though it snowed, it was a really fun event. There's a lot of cool cars there, so thank everyone that showed up there. Got to hand out some stickers, stuff like that. That was really cool seeing all those cool cars out there. And all that leads up to this current moment, May 12th, 2022, 1 year after the start of the Burnout Block, and everything is going how I want it to. We finally have, you know, everything in order. We finally have the car starting to be what I want it to be. So now we're going to talk about some of the things that are coming up soon for the car. I have some parts here I want to show you, as well as one other box on the way. So we got 3 new things that are going to be going on the G6 hopefully very soon. I know 2 of them are going on very soon. One of them will probably be one of the next videos. The other 2 will be coming very soon, so let's go ahead and show you. So starting off, this is going to be one of the next things that we do. This is a OEM gauge cluster from a 2009.5 to 2010 G6. Now if you're not in the G6 community, you probably don't know why this is so special. The reason this is special is because this is a different style gauge cluster. Obviously it looks completely different. The backing on this is white LED, which makes it look completely different than the red backing lighting that we have in the G6 currently. These are super rare. These were only made for a half year, obviously, from 2009.5 to 2010. They only came in a few G6s in that half year time before Pontiac went out. And not only that, but this is a mile per hour gauge cluster, which makes it even more rare. The red style backlit gauge cluster was from 2005 to 2009.5, and that is the style that came in most G6s. So finding a mile per hour version of the white backlit one is very rare. This makes the car look completely different on the inside. All of the mileage is digitally displayed down here, unlike on the current gauge cluster. And obviously with the white backlighting, it makes the interior look completely different. So this is going to be something we're going to be installing pretty soon. I need to get the steering wheel controls from 2009.5 to go with this gauge cluster, but this is going to make the interior look completely different. It's no longer going to be all red backlit. It's going to be nice and bright, and it's going to bring a more sporty feel to the inside of the G6. The next thing I want to look at is this. Now if you don't know what this is, or if you haven't heard of this company, this is a limited slip diff conversion kit from Traction Concepts. Essentially what it does is it takes an open diff, or a transaxle in this case, and it'll lock them together just like welding a diff would, or just like putting a limited slip diff in would do. However, you don't have to add in any other parts other than these 2 clamps right here that you see in this picture. So I'll go ahead and open it up and show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like right here. Essentially what you do is you take out the transaxle and you take out the differential pin, run it through the center, and connect this between the differential gears, and it locks everything in place just like a limited slip diff would and just like welding a diff would. This is a nice option if you don't want to worry about taking the entire differential out to swap to a limited slip diff, or maybe welding it and having the welds be bad. This is a nice, safe, secure option. I will say I have not found a lot of people doing this swap on G6s, so I might be one of the first. This is specific for the G6. Traction Concepts has a bunch of different models for different style vehicles, so I'm really hoping that this works. I'm really hoping it's not a faulty product. From the research that I've found, this company is reputable. This company makes good products, so hopefully this works really well so that we're no longer one-wheel peeling. The last part we're going to talk about in this video has been out of production for 2 years. They came back with a limited run and I finally got my hands on some. For those who own a G6 Coupe, you'll know that Spec D, which is a really good lighting company, did not make the blacked out taillight for the G6 Coupes for the past 2 years. They've been incredibly hard to find. You can't find them on Marketplace or anything like that. You'd have to buy them brand new, and no one's had them in stock, even third parties. Finally, Spec D brought back a limited run of them. Usually make 100 pairs per order, but they came back a limited run of 40 pairs. I got my hands on one of those 40 pairs, and we're finally gonna have blacked out taillights here on the G6. I'm super excited. Those should be in soon. That might be the next video we do, because I'm so ready to have those blacked out taillights. I've been waiting for 2 years, searching all over, trying to find used sets, trying to find, some nearby, some I can buy offline, something, because I've been wanting blacked out taillights on the G6 forever. Probably since I've owned the car, because blacked out taillights just look really good to me. But that might be one of the videos we do soon, even before the gauge cluster and the limited slip diff. Most likely we won't be doing the limited slip diff conversion until I have another daily, just because we'll have to pull the transaxle out. That'll probably take a couple days having a shop. Take the transaxle out, shave down, machine the gears, put the new limited slip conversion kit in, put it all back together, oil, test it, make sure it's good to go. That'll be a whole process, so we're gonna wait on that probably until we get another daily. However, the gauge cluster will be done as soon as I get the buttons and the wire that I need for it, and like I said, most likely the taillights will be the next thing we do. To go on to some of the things that I want to do this season, we're looking into going to Formula Drift in St. Louis for this year. Unfortunately, Erie just wasn't on the locations for this year, which sucks because I really like the track for Erie, but we're looking into going for St. Louis with a couple of our friends, obviously me, Paige, and a couple of our friends, so we'll look into that. I want to get back to kill care. I really want to get back to kill care. I've been talking to a couple companies trying to figure out if I can get the car tuned before we go back, because I really want to try to dip into the low 15s, probably at best case scenario dip into the 14s, but it'll be a lot of work that is needed. The world record is like a 14.3 for G6s, and my goal is to beat the world record. I want to hold the world record in the quarter for G6. That's going to be a lot of work. The guy that holds it right now has been holding it for over 10 years now. He had a GTP, but he had a 3.6, so it already made like 50 more horsepower than the 3.5 does right now. And he had an intake, an exhaust, and a 93 octane tune, I'm pretty sure. So he's got a lot more power than I have right now. So it's going to be a lot of work, but we're getting there. We're trying to make a track-oriented car right now. We have all the handling and traction that we need. We've got the braking that we need. It's just about adding the power now. So with that, thank you all so much for watching over the past year. I hope you guys are loving the G6 content. I hope you guys stick around to see the channel grow. I mean, even the growth that we've had in the past year has been amazing. The people that we've reached out to, the people that we've met and made connections with has been awesome. I'm really hoping this channel does very well and that we touch a lot of people and that we just make that connection. We touch the hearts of all those fans that are looking for just a fun, exciting car community to be in, an exciting platform to build and to see get built, because nobody else really builds G6s. I'm that crazy guy that's building a G6. To all my other G6 fans out there, thank you for your support. I know a couple of you are coming from the Facebook groups I'm in and stuff like that. Maybe follow me on Instagram, my personal account. Thank you guys so much. That help really helps me a lot. Gets me through, you know, those tough days where like I really don't feel like making content or making a video, but it motivates me, and I thank you guys so much for that. But like I said, thank you all so much for watching. Follow me at Nathan_Burnoutblock on Instagram. Follow the Burnout Block at the Burnout Block on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.